Hey everyone, I'm just popping on. And, to be honest, I'm not even sure why I'm popping on right now. Hey everybody. Hey everyone, thanks for joining.
We are witnessing a complete and total demoralized defeat among the Democrats like we've simply never seen before. Take a look at this tweet from focus group guru Frank Luntz, who, keep in mind, is no fan of Trump. But look at what he just tweeted out. Quote, "I have never seen the National Democratic Party in such chaos and confusion, whether it's childish stunts on the floor of Congress or performance art with their fake town halls. There is nothing authentic or compelling about their message, their tactics, or their delivery." And Luntz obviously has the focus group data to back that up. Nobody is buying what these desperate Democrats are trying to sell. Here's Harry Enton of CNN sounding the alarm.
Democrats, call your office. You know, we're March Madness times. Terrible, terrible, terrible. To quote the great Charles Barkley, view Democratic Party favorably. CNN SRS, 29%. NBC News, you want to go lower than that? Both are record lows. The lowest going back to 1992 in CNN polling. The lowest going back on record to 1990 in NBC News polling. The majority of Americans hold an unfavorable or negative view of the Democratic Party at this point. All I can say is I'm a big fan of the oldies, so I'm going to quote Chubby Checker, how low can you go?
And if you thought that was bad, if you can believe it, it gets even worse for congressional Democrats.
Yeah, what about congressional Democrats specifically? You think these numbers are low? How about this one? Voters' views of the Democrats in Congress among all voters disapprove, 68%. And look at the approved number, just 21%. This is the lowest on record for Democrats, according to Quinnipiac University polling. Let's go to this side of the screen. We'll look how Democratic voters feel. Get this. The plurality of Democratic voters disapprove of Democrats in Congress at 49%, and just 40% approve. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Oh, my goodness gracious, you just can't get worse than these numbers.
Now, if you haven't seen my video from earlier today, I drew together all the polls and voter registration data that are showing that the midterms are already shaping up to be an absolute bloodbath for the Democrats. You're definitely going to want to check that out. The Democrats are in such disarray. They're so deflated and defeated that you can actually see it in the changing electoral vote shift and the most current voter registration data. So you definitely want to check that video out after this one. And by the way, if you want all of this information that I'm referring to here sent to you so you can have it ready at your fingertips, just click on the link below and you get all of these resources delivered straight to your inbox for free. It's a service that we love to share with you. Speaking of, Eddie Scarry over at The Federalist has a great piece on how Democrats are effectively rendering themselves completely politically irrelevant. And he cited, the latest episode over the weekend when that far leftist federal judge James Boasberg claimed that the Trump administration did not have the authority to deport those foreign gang members who were here in our nation illegally. We talked about this on our live stream last night. President Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act from, I believe it was 1798, to authorize the immediate deportation of hundreds of gang members associated with the ultra-violent Tren de Aragua and MS-13, both now designated as foreign terrorist organizations by the federal government. And Trump sent them to the mega prison in El Salvador. And this freaking judge, this ultra-leftist D.C. district judge appointed by Obama, had the gall to actually order the two planes carrying these thugs, these illegal migrant thugs, to turn around mid-flight and come back to the United States. I mean, obviously, Trump told them to shove it. These thugs are permanently gone from the country. But this is what this article for The Federalist is saying here. The Democrats keep picking fights they cannot win. They pick a fight with Doge as Doge uncovers literally hundreds of billions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse. They pick a fight with the budget battle over the continuing resolution, which was the very definition of a losing battle. If the Democrats forced a government shutdown, then Russell Vought, the co-author of Project 2025, who is now the head of the Office of Management and Budget, he would, by Trump's direction, have the authority to zero out whatever federal agencies he wanted in the event of a government shutdown. I mean, it was the definition of a lose-lose. Either give Trump the budget he wants or give Trump the authority to abolish the agencies he wants. Either way, Trump gets what he wants. There was literally no point in trying to turn a CR into a death battle. And of course, they've been trying to do the exact same thing with the economy, all at the very same time that egg prices are dropping, gas prices are dropping, interest rates are dropping. And did you see this? President Trump just signed an executive order outlining his plans to create America's first national sovereign wealth fund, and it'll need to be filled up with assets fast. I mean, Trump wants to go live in the next 90 days with this. The Wall Street types are already trying to pack it with real estate and infrastructure and pieces of trendy companies like TikTok. But let's not forget about gold. Sovereign wealth funds love to buy gold in bulk. Australia's been loading up. Saudi Arabia is buying the world's largest gold mine to supply itself. And even tiny Singapore recently added more than 100 metric tons of gold to its vaults. Now, can you imagine what would happen to the per ounce price of gold, which has already been surging sky high since Trump took office, if America's new sovereign wealth fund followed international best practices and made gold a part of its diversified portfolio? I mean, it would potentially make our country a brand new mega buyer in an already tight market. And when there's limited supply and huge demand, the impact on prices, well, let's just say you're going to want to be ready. Now, there's a simple way to get ready, too. It's all laid out for you in the free gold report from my partners at turleytalkslikesgold.com. You'll want to request your copy right away. You don't have a lot of time in this. President Trump has put the world on notice. A new sovereign wealth fund for America may be coming perhaps in as little as the next 90 days. Take advantage of the time you have to prepare. Get your free gold report now at turleytalkslikesgold.com. You will not be disappointed. But this is what the Democrats keep doing. They keep fighting losing battles, which only ends up making them look more and more like losers. I mean, it's insane. Victor Davis Hanson, he recently noted that the Democrats' unhinged public displays of lunacy, together with their doubling down on issues that only have 20% support, have placed them firmly in the absurd position of trying to defeat Trump by becoming more unpopular than he is. So if politics is largely a popularity contest, the Democrats appear hell-bent on winning by losing. So they're in this doom loop, this 80-20 doom loop, where they're only growing more unpopular with every passing week, and yet they're frothing at the mouth. Lunacy only ends up getting worse, which of course costs them even more in popularity. So their hatred of Trump has effectively made them insidiously hateful. I think that's key. Their hate of Trump has made them hateful, and that hate is translating into a historic popularity plunge. As we saw earlier, the latest Quinnipiac poll has the Democrats down at just 20% support. 8 in 10 Americans want nothing to do with them. So if your goal is to defeat Trump, you can't do that by constantly doing things that make you less popular than the one you're trying to defeat. Again, it's an 80-20 doom loop. And that's what I've been saying now for the last few weeks. Ultimately, the reason why the Democrats keep picking losing battles is because they're trying to politicize the pre-political. I think that's key to understanding what's really happening here. This is why both the Democrats and the legacy media, their mouthpieces in the legacy media, are just in this popularity freefall right now. They're both trying to politicize the pre-political, meaning they're trying to turn into a political battle issues that garner vast majority support regardless of the politics or the political affiliation of the supporters. So, for example, there, as we speak, virtually unanimous support among voters to get rid of the federal government of as much waste, fraud, and abuse as possible. And that support obviously precedes anyone's political affiliation. So that's what I mean by pre-political. You don't have to be a part to be against abuse. The exact same thing goes with deporting illegal aliens who are criminal gang members in our nation. 80+% of the electorate supports that regardless of their partisan affiliation. You cannot politicize an issue that has overwhelming support regardless of one's politics. That's why Trump's coalition is increasingly being called the common sense coalition or the common sense consensus. To go against it, trying to politically defeat what the consensus views as common sense, requires the Democratic opposition to appear increasingly devoid of that very common sense, and hence why they look increasingly lunatic and fringe. Again, case in point, old serpent head himself, James Carville, the raging Cajun James Carville. He's arguing now that the Democrats are inevitably going to have to abandon their whole trans fixation. It is inevitable. It is inexorable. The trans athlete issue is dead. It is a political loser precisely because of this 80-20 rule. But as that recent Senate vote a couple of weeks back confirmed, Democrats continue to want to die on this hill. They continue to want to be on the side of trans athletes as over and against women in female sports. And even the Democrat strategist, James Carville, sees no possible way imaginable within the realm of reality where the Democrats come out of that position the winner. None. Zippo. It's the very definition of a losing battle. And we could just go down the list. Border security, mass deportations, waste, fraud, and abuse, trans and female sports, the elimination of DEI, freezing foreign aid, reciprocal tariffs. These are all garner supermajority support, and the Democrats are finding themselves on the wrong side of each and every one of these issues. This is precisely the source of their constant fighting, losing battles. They're trying to politicize issues that are pre-political. And it's like trying to fit a square into a round hole. A square peg. I guess I need to affix some geometry to an object there. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. And as long as they continue to double down on this 80-20 doom loop, they will continue to politically implode. The Democrats are indeed deflated and defeated. And we're not even 2 full months in.
We will stand bravely, dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun.
Wow, it's such an exciting time to be alive. As we speak, America is regaining its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, and prosperous nation on earth. We have so much to celebrate already. Safer borders, the dismantling of DEI, permission to drill, baby, drill, and $1 trillion in new investments released into the economy. We stand on the precipice of what will be known as the most prosperous time in American history. The only question is, will you be an active participant in the golden age, or will you sit passively on the sidelines watching everyone else build wealth? If you want to be a part of the former, then I urge you to join me and my good friend Mark Wilburn at the Golden Age Summit on Thursday, March 20th at 4 p.m. Eastern. Mark is a stock market expert whose recent recommendations have led to returns of over 200%. He's an amazing teacher and has a knack of demystifying the market so everyday Americans can participate in this golden age we're now in. But don't wait. Seating registration is limited, so click on that link below right now and register today, and I'll see you for an event that promises to change your life.